They weep no more, for they are perfectly sanctified. No evil heart of unbelief prompts them to depart from the living God. They are without fault before his throne, and are fully conformed to his image. Well may they cease to mourn who have ceased to sin. They weep no more, because all fear of change is past. They know that they are eternally secure. Sin is shut out, and they are shut in. They dwell within a city which shall never be stormed. They bask in a sun which shall never set. They drink of a river which shall never run dry. They pluck fruit from a tree which shall never wither. Countless cycles may revolve, but eternity shall not be exhausted. And while eternity endures, their immortality, blessedness, shall coexist with it. They are forever with the Lord. They weep no more, because every desire is fulfilled. They cannot wish for anything which they have not in possession. Eye and ear, heart and hand, judgment, imagination, hope, desire, will, all the faculties are completely satisfied. And imperfect as our present ideas are of the things which God has prepared for them that love him, yet we know enough by the revelation of the Spirit that the saints above are supremely blessed. The joy of Christ, which is an infinite fullness of delight, is in them. They bathe themselves in the bottomless, shoreless sea of infinite beatitude. And that same joyful rest remains for us. It may not be far distant. Ere long, the weeping willow shall be exchanged for the palm branch of victory, and sorrow's dewdrops will be transformed into pearls of everlasting bliss. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words. Charles Spurgeon.
Nathalie, Nathalie, Nathalie. What can we say about Nathalie? There's so many things to be said about Nathalie that we should all write a book, don't you think? But, you know, Nathalie was not only talented in her area of music and all of that, but how many know that she was also a prankster? We all know, if you were in the TV choir, you knew that. But one of the things that I remember very well is Nathalie was loved. You know, she was one of the best examples of love that I ever met in my life, I think. And one of the things I remember was in TV choir practice up in that little room there on the 3rd floor of the Lyceum Theater. You know, if we had an issue with anybody in the choir or anybody like that, and she knew it, she would address that issue before we ever started rehearsal. Do you remember that? And she would do it in a real subtle way, but you kind of knew if she was talking to you or not. She would sit at the piano, and she would usually have a scripture verse that would pertain to the situation. Anyway, and then she would do a little sermon thing, like she would do, sitting at the piano, very quietly. And she had us almost all under conviction and on our knees by the time we were through. But you knew that was probably for you. And then we would have this beautiful rehearsal time. And then we would have a prayer meeting. Do you remember that, guys? I mean, that's the way rehearsal went every time. Well, okay, one of the other things that we all know about Nathalie is that she was a Cupid. You said it. I bet you there's a ton of people here that she was their Cupid today. She was our Cupid. And in fact, somebody today said to me, I love when you tell the story about Nathalie, how she introduced you guys. And so I said, okay, I'll tell it. So I was staying, I was 19, I was staying at the home of the Palermos. How many remember the Palermo brothers? Well, we have Mrs. Palermo right down here in the front. And Louis right beside, oh no, that's Louis' son. He looks like Louis. Well, anyway, I was staying at, this is Louis and Jeannie, and I was staying at Phil and Edie's home. And Nathalie came for lunch. And Boy, they were great with their lunches, those women, Helen Wilson and Nathalie Haag. And then we had our birthdays all in the same month too, February. So we'd have these birthday parties and all that. Well, anyhow, so I was there at the Palermo's, and Nathalie came, and she said, after I got to know her a little bit, she said, you know, hon, why don't you come down to Souls Harbor on Sunday night and do a little number? Well, that was great, I mean, because I knew the TV choir. We heard these guys, and we'd been there. My parents had come from Grambling and brought us, and we came to hear whenever we'd come to the cities, you know. And so then she said, say, hon, introduced me to him, and she said to Jerry, say, hon, why don't you guys just try this little number? So we tried this little number. We're going to sing a little bit later at the end, but that kind of became our signature song, and for the past 52 years, because of Nathalie, that has been our signature song. Anyway, then she, you know, things began to happen, and we got married 100 years later. Oh no, it wasn't 100. we just had, it wasn't quite that. But we, it seemed like that, right? Yeah. One of the things she did for all of us, she wrote a wedding song for us, and almost for a bunch of the kids. Anyway, she did for us, and we had the privilege of recording that song later, and we sang it at our wedding, and we sang it at both our daughters' weddings. But anyway, we're going to do that little song later, but right now, Nathalie was just the most wonderful person, and we can thank her for our together.
Can I say just a couple words? We get dinner started. When I look out and see all the folks that are here today, I came to Souls Harbor. I remember the very first night. Now, many of you don't, but it so happened that our family and the Jacobson family and Pastor Peterson and his family were the only people there at the very first service of Souls Harbor. There were 9 people in the Sunday night service. And when I look out and see all the folks that, you know, came along, and I was just a little kid growing up at Souls Harbor. I was 7 years old, and what a joy it was to grow up in that church and then be in Nathalie's choir, like so many of you were. And it was just a great heritage that we have. And as I was talking to Pastor Gordy, the times that we had as young people. And so it's good to see so many of you here today. And we're going to do this song that...
Can I say one more little story? Well, this is about Nathalie and Jerry, actually. But Nathalie had us all go to McPhail. How many went to McPhail School of Music? Yeah. She had us voice lessons over there with Mrs. Orness, right? Well, anyhow, I know this from hearing you tell the story. We had just met, but she thought Jerry should take voice lessons. So on Sunday nights, well, you can tell the story better than I can. She would say to you...
She came to me on Sunday night, this one Sunday night. She says, you know, there's a little old lady at Souls Harbor that wants to put you through school, music school. And she's going to give you the money every Sunday night for your lesson. So I went to McPhail School of Music for a couple of years. And after a couple of years, I found out that this little old lady that was giving me the money every Sunday night was none other than Nathalie.
Oh, yeah.
So, and some people said, what did you do with the money?
And I remember it was $2 a week, too, that she would hand him.
We're going to do a favorite, Where the Roses Never Fade.
here from a couple of family members. First of all, Mike Marshall, who would be Nathalie's grandson, Linda and George Marshall, and then Woody, their son. Would you come up and share with us, Mike? I told him, did you get taller since you got married?
Well, I was going to sing, but not after those performances. The choir still got it. That's impressive. A little flat in the back. But I am Nathalie's grandson, Mike, Linda's son, and most of you remember me a lot shorter. Definitely a lot cuter. There's not much to do about that. Tom said it perfectly earlier. It kind of sounds cliche, but today really is a celebration. And I haven't been to a funeral before with this much joy in the room. It really is amazing. And we're sad that Nathalie's not here with us anymore, but definitely a lot of joy and happiness in this room, and that's so great to see. I think we all knew that when Nathalie left, it wasn't going to be a small, quiet send-off with all the people involved in her lives and the number of lives that she touched. I know she knew that was reciprocal when it was going to be a big production, so it's nice that everybody's out here with us tonight. I know I'm not alone here. One of the things I'll miss the most about my grandmother is definitely the music that she created and shared with all of us. And my one regret with that is my daughter Macy and any other kids to follow won't get to meet either Jack or Nathalie, but they will definitely live through all of us, all the friends and family that we have that knew them so well. So that's nice as well. Even through the final months, the final years of Nathalie's life, she really inspired a lot of people with her music still. And, as her memory faded as she got older, even just the same, she'd sit down at a piano and she may as well have been 18 years old. It was really amazing to sit down and watch her play, no matter how old she got. She was just amazing and very inspiring with the music. Both Nathalie and Jack, my grandparents, lived with us for a number of years as I was going through junior high school and high school. And that was a nice time for me. I really got to know them very well, and especially now I can look back, and that was a very special time in our lives where I really got to know them. But I wanted to especially thank Tom and Jan and Jim and everybody else for coming here today. It's pretty much standing room only, which is exactly what I expected for Nathalie. And just thank you all for being here today. And my mother, Linda, was going to come up here and share a few stories as well. So thank you once again, everybody, for coming out here tonight. You want to come on up?
You're on.
You stay here? Okay. You gotta stay here with me. Thank you, loved ones, for being here with us today, celebrating my mother's life and homegoing. Better get this out here. When she was asked by people what was the secret of her good health and her longevity, she said, the Lord has blessed me. And I also come from good Swedish Finnish stock. She spoke Swedish fluently. Her mother and dad coming from Sweden and Finland. So she learned to speak that, listening to it all her life. I learned to speak some Swedish from Mom, so we chatted with short little sentences here and there. She had a favorite quote in Swedish that she thought was so fun. It goes, Någon har sagt att i himlen alla ska falla och sönder i den härliga svenska språket. Did I get that right, River Spoken? He's here today. In English, someone has said that in heaven, all will speak and sing in the heavenly language of Swedish. One short story. After her formal music education in Duluth and Chicago, she was asked to be a music director at her father's church in Chicago, Bethel Baptist Church, where she formed a women's chorus and a male chorus. Now, 2 members of her male chorus called me a few months ago. One was Reverend Herb Stokely, who's here today, bless his heart, and Reverend Clifford Anderson. Called me a few months ago and asked if it would be okay if I saw my mom. I thought that would be wonderful. And I said, she may not remember your faces, but if you can bring something or say something to her that would jar her memory, that would be helpful. Well, they called me the day after they saw her. What they brought along was a picture of her male chorus from Chicago, about 30 members, with her sitting in the middle of the male chorus. They showed her the picture and said, Nathalie, do you remember this picture? They said, this is your male chorus, here you are, and we're in it. And they ended the conversation by saying, do you know that we are the only 3 that are still alive? Well, she just listened and nodded her head to finish the story. They asked her if she would go out in the nursing home. They had a piano on her floor and play one song for her. And she was willing, she always was, when it came to the piano. So they wheeled her out in her wheelchair up to the piano. And Reverend Scoveland said, do you remember that you played at my wedding in Chicago? And she, I don't know if she did or not, but he said, you know, my wife and I, we asked you to play at our reception the song, The Fight Is On. Well, whether she remembered them or not, she whipped that song out from beginning to end without a glitch. Yeah, they just thought that was amazing. Before they left, they prayed with her, and the last thing they said was, Nathalie, if we don't see you again on this earth, we'll meet you up in heaven. And she responded, you bet, I'll be there. I miss you so much, Mom. But we don't have the joy of knowing that we'll be together again with our loved ones someday soon up in heaven. Amen. God bless you, dear friends, for being here today. Really appreciate it. It's wonderful seeing all of you. Thank you.
Fred Wyler, those of you come. Fred, you are Jack's cousin, is that right? Do I remember that right? Fred Wyler is going to share and sing.
I had a lot to say, but Ginger took up quite a bit of time. Ginger, he's always getting at me. We've been doing a little work together in some of these churches, and we've been having some fun. You know, some of these fellows were talking about Cupid, or the women were, I guess, we're talking about whatever, about marriage and so forth, and I thought, well, boy, I can't let them get it going over on me. So I'll just give you a little idea of how it came about with us, how things happened. First of all, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, as many of you may remember. And I heard about Jack and Nathalie Haag out of Minneapolis for a long time, as I was through the years growing up. And I often wondered what it would be like to see that church, because I had seen some of the movies they'd send back, and we get to see some of them. And I remember so many that were there. It impressed me so much. I thought, oh, I'd love to. I was just a little country singer, you know, but what a dream I had, to work for the Lord. Jack and Nathalie decided to come back and visit their relatives back in Pennsylvania in 1960. I was 21 years of age, and I remember just memories going through my mind here this afternoon. Sonia and Linda, they were just young girls, and Arliss Bamber. They came along with Jack and Nathalie to Pennsylvania, and I met them for the first time back in 1960. And they invited me to come out here to to Minneapolis, and I thought, well, I'll go out. I was laid off my job at the Fort Bragg. I thought, well, I'll just go out there for a week or so and see what happens, just sort of see the place. Well, I arrived here May 15th, 17th, and the following Sunday night, it was on a Friday night, the following Sunday night, Nathalie introduced me to my soon-to-be wife, Mark. Over 57 years, 50 years, now we've been only 51 years, we've been married wife, thank God. Tom, you'll only go way back too. I can go on forever. We're going to sing a song that Nathalie, one of the songs she was sort of known for, not just in Minneapolis, but all over the country. Our family traveled for many years, and every church I was in, practically, I'd sing this song and tell them about Nathalie, where it came from. So she touched the hearts in this song. In a little while, my Lord will come.